Today, we get to focus on the $3.8 million daily checklist. We call this $3.8 million checklist your daily five, and it's as smooth as the Jackson Five. The problem with daily checklists is who was it? Was it Muhammad Ali? It's like, or maybe Mike Tyson or something. Like everyone's got a plan until you get hit. The chaos of business makes knowing what to do when you feel like you should be doing everything or a bunch of things get a little swirly. Things may feel you don't know exactly what to do. Things may feel a little bit more like this in the day to day of business. You're adding things up. You're just confused, not sure what is the most important thing when there's like 15 things that are like the most important. That all said, we all know that a confused mind equals action? Question mark? No, it doesn't. It doesn't equal action, but the clarity of knowing just simply what to do, it can be explosive, right? It gives you permission to say no or put aside all the things that are slowing you down, weighing you down, and may or may not work, and gives you access to go the path you need to. And that is explosive. That is the purpose of today's conversation. This is the purpose of the daily five that has really helped us almost do 4 million in sales with this checklist. So your daily five looks like this: respond, message, request, engage, and qualify. There's all kinds of things that you could do in little granular parts of this. This will be a simplified version of these five. So by the end of the next 15 minutes or so, you'll have a clear checklist and you'll know exactly what they mean. Let's dive into respond. Respond to unread messages. Yes, the little notification. Why are these important? It's really simple. These are the leads swimming towards you. You want to, people that want help, that are looking for solutions, they're easy to serve. People that are in motion are easier to serve and help, that redirect them versus get them started and going the right direction. So if we break this down a little bit more, they're your hottest leads. They're faster to respond. The more engaged convo you have, the more it'll lead to closed deals. You can continue building rapport with these people because they're actually talking to you. And then when you're ready, you can invite them to the next step or next call to action. So this is really important. Another simple way of saying it is you can work the pipeline right to left. Now we build it kind of left to right, and the people follow a simple linear sales process, hopefully when you have it nailed down, which is left to right. But we want to work the pipeline right to left because we're going from warmest to coldest. All right. Another simple thing that this can look like is just working it from the native platform itself, where you can look, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, you can see the pipeline stages. You can see the message templates. You can even use our AI assistant in there to help generate responses. By the way, that's a whole nother, more trainings on that available already. And the other thing you can do, if you look on the left-hand side, these are views that you can turn on and off at will. And but you can also like add tags. You can also move pipelines, stages within the pipeline. So what does this mean? If you're having a conversation, someone's like, okay, sounds great, like let's hop on a call. From this view, you can actually just change the stage, booking link sent or call booked, and it will actually move the card in this view, in the pipeline view. It'll move them to that stage for you from operating natively on the platform from this view. So you can choose. The simple punchline is you can use whatever view you like the most for responding to unread messages. All right, let's go on to the message. Once we respond to people coming to us, now we want to send new messages to obviously get more responses for later that day or the next day. Well, when we're sending initial message, it could be as simple as just great to connect. This isn't too alarming. This isn't too spammy. In fact, some tests that Bruno has been doing, he's been sending out a simple message like this, and it's allowed him to send more and more messages because this is a hard one to report to spam. It's kind of like a simple hi, a simple greeting, right? Now, other strategies you can use that we've talked about plenty of times is starting with a compliment. Just a genuine, not flattery, but just a genuine compliment. I'll have an example for you in just a second. The goal here, no matter what strategy you use, is to get a response. We're not selling them. We're not asking for a sale. We're asking for a signal. We want them to respond, because then we can continue the conversation. We never get a response. It never goes anywhere. So the conversation moves along. Here's the example. You could take a screenshot. Love what you're up to, first name. I'll reach back out soon to connect more. It's obviously, this is a general message. Yes, it's better if you can get more specific. If you've nailed down your niche, you know exactly who you're talking to. That's very easy to do at scale. Wanted to present a simple example that's general so you guys could use it if you wanted to, or at least get the idea. So you can take a screenshot of that. And this simply covers the message portion. All right, moving on to the third one, we've got request. This is sending a friend or connection request, depending on what platform you're on. Doing this consistently is key. You know, I'm always leery of giving a number because there's so many different variables. It's an algorithm, not a number. It varies based on platform as well. But let's call it 10 to 30 new friend requests or connections sent a day. At the time of us doing this recording, like on LinkedIn, you can get 100 to 200 new connection requests sent a week. Things are always changing, but that's roughly where it's at now. Friend requests, again, that one, I feel like that one varies even more, but call it 20, 25 friend requests a day. You can generally do this. Imagine someone just adding $100 bill to a jar on your dinner table. I don't know, right? Just every day, someone just comes in, just adds $100, adds $100. That or more is the value of just sending connection requests. You're building your audience. You're digging your water well before you need a drink. This is one of those simple things that you can just put on autopilot with FlowChat. It does it, you set it up one time, you set up certain criteria of who you actually want to connect with, and it'll just on autopilot just do this. And you're just adding more data, more audience, more leads to your pipeline on autopilot. It's fantastic. So sending requests on a daily basis, there's businesses that are doing this on all platforms consistently, and there's the businesses that are not doing this. So be the ones that are with the automation. All right, so let's have the engagement piece up here. Why does this matter? Well, a lot of times we can do this when we're sending the friend request or connection request. Liking someone's profile, their most recent post. Sorry, not their profile, their post. Their most recent post is what we can like. And if you look on the right-hand side, you'll see that it pops up in their notifications. Now, Chris, I've never looked at my notifications, or I barely look at them. I'm not saying everyone does, but I'm saying people do. No, not zero people do this, right? There's billions of active users on these platforms, daily active users on these platforms. If 0.003% look at it, we're good. Anyway, it's another touch point is the one punchline. And yeah, it's, just like on the bottom here, it's simply liking someone's post. That's all I'm referring to. And it appears in the notification. This is an additional touch point. And this isn't something that we're doing. This is something that we can set up to happen automatically that works to our benefit. Hopefully you guys are getting a sense. Like, I'm moving through these pretty quickly. The daily 5 is designed to be easy. It's designed to be pretty automated. These are very time-consuming things when you set them up and you have to click by click do it. It's a lot of clicks. It's a lot of thinking. It's very mundane. And that's why just about no one does it. But that's also why we built FlowChat, is to make it easier to where you can push one button, not hundreds of buttons, and have these revenue-generating activities working for you. Lastly, we have qualifying. Guys, this might be the most important one. If you don't nail qualifying in the beginning, everything else is a downhill battle, or uphill battle rather. Like you've just lost. If you don't have the right person, if someone's looking for a hammer and you sell a saw, it doesn't matter. Like, you just have it's not the right fit. So they're going to take up your sales team time. Then they're going to take up your support team's time when they're being onboarded. Then they're going to blow up your support tickets, and you're going to be working half-made solutions that it's just painful and expensive. This is one of the most important parts of your business. And when you can use FlowChat to automate the process by setting a certain criteria, man, this is one of the most time-consuming things, but one of the most valuable things. So especially when you're focused and you know who you're serving, like with your niche, right? You have that criteria. Again, you can now add these certain criterias to different pipelines. Well, Chris, I serve different, I have multiple customer segmentations, or I serve 2 different customers. Okay, no worries. You have 2 different settings, and you add it to different pipelines, and we'll be focused and create a great onboarding and customer journey for each of them. It's that simple. And then we get to press play once a day and benefit from all this. This is what it looks like. I know this is really small. This isn't intended to be able to see and read this all exactly, but it is intended for you to memorize what this menu looks like, because when we're in our pipeline, we can cover this in the Q&A section. Hopefully all of you have seen this before, but we can set these criteria to match your ICP. To hang on just a couple of these, we can say, listen, Chris, I'm a publishing company, publishing agency. I'm looking for experts and influencers. Okay, well, we want to make sure that they have at least like 1,000 or 3,000 friends. You can set a minimum criteria of that. I want to make sure that, there's someone in my circle and the networks I'm available, I'm a part of. Cool. Let's make sure that we have at least like 30 mutual friends. We could do that. So it's like they got to have 3,000 or more friends or connections. They've got to have, 30 or more mutual friends or connections. Has a minimum of 500 followers. Maybe we want influencers. So it's like, man, they got to have at least 10,000 followers. We work with the best. Okay, cool. You can put that in there, right? You could do it based on the total amount of posts on a profile. You can do it based on how frequently they're posting on their profile. That one's really good. I wouldn't, if someone's not posting more than once every 3 months, probably not as engaged on social media. Maybe we don't want to waste time reaching out to them when they're not going to see it. But if someone's, posting once a week, once a month, maybe once every 2 months, that's probably fine, right? You can do it based on gender, location, and on the bottom, you can see that you can use tags. You can use titles. You can use certain phrases and words that they use to identify themselves as a perfect customer for you. This saves so much manual. Imagine just going to 100, that alone 50 profiles a day, and manually looking for all of this criteria, qualifying their profile, and then to get 50, you probably have to look at 200 or more. You guys following me on this? This is really painful to curate the data, but the value of doing this equals you have dialed in perfect people totally needing and wanting your product or service. And when you can predetermine what you want the outcome to be and hit play, and this does that for you, and it saves you a lot of payroll. This saves you a ton of time. So this is a really cool feature that we love. All right. So check this out. I've kind of consolidated the 5 things that we talked about here in the chat. There we go. You should see the hyperlinked URL in there. You guys can click that and just save this PDF. It goes over the 5 criteria in the order that we just described it and why it's important. This way you don't have to memorize everything. You can just know what's important. You can share this with your team. Here, this is what I'm looking for you to do. You can give them your goals per day. Hey, I want to do 10. I want to do 20 per day and per profile, and crush with it. So now that you guys have had a chance to look at that, here is the mission of the week. Mission number 1, or the first part, is do the daily 5. Just do the things we talked about. And the second thing is the end. Just do the daily 5. That is the mission. Doing it consistently is key. The fact that that we've used FlowChat to grow FlowChat. Some people are, in fact, we were just talking to a very established, person in his career. He has built a tech company that you all know that does over $100 million a year in sales. And we were talking about FlowChat with him. And he was like, the level that you guys have already accomplished, bootstrapped, you're in the well, I don't want to say it backwards, the 96th percentile, or like top 4%. You know what I'm saying? Like only 4% of businesses get to this level, even that we're at, even though we're still a small company. And why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this because one of the biggest keys to our success with FlowChat is we show people what we do. It's not super sexy, but it is really valuable. The secret is we don't not do it. There's not a day where we miss. We've been consistent for over 3.5 years. That's why it's winning. And yeah, sometimes there's ups and downs. Oh shoot, it's not converting the way it used to, or am I missing? Oh, maybe we got to change copy, or maybe we got to find a slightly different, groups or communities that we could partner better with, or maybe we need to make the certain parts of the tech better. It's a journey. I'm not saying it's easy, but man, if we're not being consistent on the revenue generating activity, then it's a losing battle. It's all downhill. So I know I'm preaching to the choir, but hopefully that's encouraging.